Derrick Henry, fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. With that, we head across the Atlantic to London. Standing by with the call and maybe a little jet-lagged, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We are about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one between the Houston Texans and our home team. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They come in off another victory a weekend ago. That ran their win streak up to 7 now.
And I think that win last week established them as Super Bowl frontrunners. They're playing with confidence and swagger, and you need that to go a long way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback who grew up just outside of Cleveland on Lake Erie, Mitchell Trubisky. They go with Leonard Fournette, third-year back from LSU. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
The poster child for late bloomers is wide receiver Adam Thielen. Well documented that he came out of football-powered Minnesota State to become a starting receiver in the NFL. Over 200 catches in the last 2 seasons. This is a young man who knows how to get open. And one of the things his college coach told me that really makes his game special, he has a great sense of awareness of where everyone is on the field. Every time he catches the ball, allows him to react and gain extra yardage.
It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So on 4th down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Yards on the return, but for a moment looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And the Jags will have great field position to start this drive as they take over on the short side of the field. So here are the Jaguars in great field position already. They'll be brought out by the 2-time MVP in the NFL, who's now in his 15th season, Aaron Rodgers.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. Now a first-time 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago, it's Derrick Henry. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Caught here by Conley. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On the counter, it's Henry. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 first down gains.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now a pass that's taken in by Hill. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. And the offensive unit now for the Jaguars.
He led the NFL in receptions last year with 125, and for wide receiver Michael Thomas, not a surprise. That's what he expects out of himself each and every season. Finishing the top 10 in receiving yards each of his first 3 years in the league. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, first-time first-team All-Pro in 2018, and he has tremendous hands, great moves downfield, and really, truly believes in himself. Check out his social media handle, Can't Guard Mike.
This is complete to Michael Thomas. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that could be pinpoint here.
As I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
Well, look now at our starting defense. They're currently 21st, Charles, in the NFL against the run.
One thing you do know, they'll be fired up because they're facing a top 5 rushing attack. And even if they have early success against them, they got to remember they got to sustain it, because teams that are top 5, they don't stop running the ball if they don't get things done early.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Throwing is Rodgers. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here, because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
That's caught. It's Thomas. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Michael Thomas, his 6th touchdown of the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games, and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Trubisky now to throw on 3rd down. James has got it, complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Complete. Smith has it. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. On 2nd and 11 now. Trubisky dumps it off to Fournette. And he's taken down inside the 30. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 29-yard line. Trubisky will come up here 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Fournette running out of the gun. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Now Trubisky to throw. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. No doubt, a very disappointing end to what was a pretty strong opening drive.
They had 3 points in their back pocket. It was there for them. If you don't like what you see, just throw it away. Make sure you get those points on the board. Don't get too greedy. He forced it there. You saw the end result.
They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 16 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, he's the number 2 runner in the league, and you just know the offensive line wants to get him to number 1 because most of the good ball carriers, they take care of their linemen. Could be a gold watch in their future if he becomes a leading rusher.
From the 24, Rodgers. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. The Jags with the football to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Gets it to Hill. It's a jet sweep. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, first down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
A first down carry for Henry. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Derrick Henry. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. A call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. We're pretty woeful there, just 23 yards on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. On 3rd down, Trubisky. He'll leave it for Montgomery complete. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Ryan Quigley now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. On play action, Rodgers. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Matt Judon able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. On 2nd down, Eckler. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. Complete. Hunter Henry with the grab. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And out will come the offense as they take over. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. Here's Trubisky. He sets to fire deep. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Here's Ryan Quigley now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Watch out for Hill on the return. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
We're
only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. From the 38, Rodgers. He's got the hook up with Conley. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down. Rodgers now on 1st down. Flush to his right. It's caught by Garcon. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a 1st down again.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
And you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
He already has 2 sacks to his credit, now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible. Because right now, he is wrecking things for them.
Able to get 9 out of that pitch and catch, but now 3rd and goal.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. A field goal would make it a two-score game, but they're going to go aggressive. They're going to try this thing on 4th and goal. They'll run. It's Henry. And nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped behind the line. The big back Derrick Henry held out of the end zone. And this Texans defense comes up with a goal line stand. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They go play action with Trubisky. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's James. And they work this out past the 25. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. He's got this to his running back, Ty Montgomery. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Trubisky. Over the middle, complete. That's James. And he'll have it past midfield, almost to the 40, before being taken down. A good pickup there at 22. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. So we've reached halftime. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace, because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers. He completes it to Henry. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
To throw on 3rd down, Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards. The corner, Ronald Darby, comes up to get it. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Ryan Kerrigan in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Here's Trubisky to throw. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he takes this just about a yard shy of the 20. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards, the final tally.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
Now Trubisky. Caught by Montgomery. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 15 yards on the play, first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Fournette. Fournette, a first down, still going. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe looking for Stills here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Akeem Talib. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And caught by Henry. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot, and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry, and this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
I think it's okay there they didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily, put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Well, we use the term pitch and catch a lot to denote an easy completion. We just saw one right there on 3rd and 3 to pick up the first down.
Why are those so tough to defend? Just because they hit so quickly?
Yeah, it's all about timing and confidence. Quarterback sees it, rips it, there you go.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry, and that'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Rodgers. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Hey, 626.
And the blitz does come. Thomas has got it, complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 34-yard line.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. To throw, it's Rodgers. They complete it to Hill. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 12-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the...
And he's got it. It's Thomas for a Jacksonville touchdown. Michael Thomas, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it results in a touchdown for Jacksonville. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 2nd and 9, Trubisky. That's to his running back, Leonard Fournette. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a third down. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
And James has it. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Let's go.
Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the rookie from Clemson, Trayvon Mullen. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. The struggles continue here offensively. Still nothing for them on the scoreboard, and now an interception.
Yeah, the offense looks extremely sluggish, not really in sync at all. Dare I say, it looks like it got left behind in customs.
Oh, you've had that in your back pocket. You were waiting for that.
Probably should have left it in my back pocket, too.
Well played.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. From midfield, here's Rodgers. He gets it to Thomas. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
No room to be had there on the first down run, as he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Looking to throw on second down. Rodgers. And this is incomplete. The Pro Bowler Tyreek Hill, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up third down. An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Open man is Michael Thomas. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 14. Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. Flushed out right. And a little floater there is incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. But now it's third down. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. On the screen, this is Eckler. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Austin Eckler, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, wherever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Looking to throw again on second down. Trubisky. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. And he was plus 5 seconds there with a football. Is there a time that a quarterback has to get rid of it?
Somewhere generally around 3 seconds. So just like we're playing in our turkey bowl, right, in our backyards, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, the ball better be gone, because anything past that, that's usually the end result.
And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. They're going on fourth down. It's Trubisky, and it is incomplete. It was Teron Johnson that time who had that play covered from the start. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
3 bucks. 50. Hey, orbit. 51's the mic. I'm going to do that.
Rodgers now on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The sack there by Trent Murphy.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
They'll run out of the gun with Eckler. 3 yards is the pickup, but it leaves them still needing 11 here on third down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Rodgers now to throw. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Trubisky. It's complete. Stills. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. Now Trubisky on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Kenny Stills, the intended receiver, but it's going to be 2nd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
A gain of 32 that time. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back.
Here we go.
And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On first down, Trubisky. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his big tight end there, Jesse James. And that'll bring up second down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
To throw on second and 10, Trubisky. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. Now it's Trubisky. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So that right there was his second pick, but keep in mind, this is a guy... who once had a rare 3-interception game in his career.
So what are you saying? That getting 2 in a game, that's like kid stuff for him? That's nothing. He's already
Amateur
done that,
hour.
right? Been there, done that. You know he wants a third again.
They started on the ground with Eckler. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Jonathan Hankins in on the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Once more, here's Eckler. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
On third down, here's Eckler. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a fourth down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
Well, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for the Jaguars, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they dropped their 7th game on the year. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.